DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective. Your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
What's up, everyone? Draft heads, welcome in. We have been expecting you. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome in, everybody who's joining us live in the chat. Draft Alchemy, Dreaded Magpie, Scott Thompson. What's going on? If you're hanging out in the background, hanging out in the wings, in the shady, dark corners of this chat, say hey. If you haven't ever been on a live show, you should join us. We usually stream on Wednesdays. And it's a great time. Wednesday is normally about 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, yeah. Lodi LFC, what's up, dude? Hey, everybody. Say hi in the chat. If you have questions, obviously toss them in there. We'll try to get to them as we can. But yeah, welcome in. This is the Key Pass Collective. My name's Joe Williams. Be your host for this particular episode. Little reminder of who we are. Key Pass Collective, of course, the audio companion to the Draft Society website. What is the Draft Society? Well, it's where you're going to go to get the draft kit. Because if you play this game, you probably are going to want a leg up on your competition. And the draft kit will give you just that. So it is what we've been spending literal hundreds of hours working on this summer. A team of 8 to 9 of us have been slaving away, like actually hundreds of hours to put together this draft kit. And we're really proud of it. I mean, top 200 sortable player rankings. You can sort by any one of the Draft Society analysts you want. You can sort by position. You can sort by a whole bunch of different things. Team, obviously. We've got points projections for every single player in the league. We've got a live draft aid where you can plug in your Fantrax ID and it will go through your draft as you pick during your draft and tell you who's available and who we would recommend that you would take. We've got team previews for every single team in the league. Those have been dropping already this week. I think we're up to 7 or 8 already that we've dropped. Check those out. Those have players to draft, players to avoid. Those have first 5 fixtures and what it looks like for each team. Those have fixture difficulty tracker, those kind of things. I mean, everything's in there. The team previews are amazing. The projections are in there. Predicted 11s are in there. It's all there. There's so much in the draft kit. Please check it out. And if you're willing to support an independent fantasy football website, we would really appreciate the support. So hit up the draft kit, DraftSociety.com. All right, nice. If you do take us up on our offer to, if you are willing to support the Draft Society and you take us up on our offer to give you content for money. Then if you get the Ultimate Pass, you will also get the Fantasy Toolkit, which is going to lock you in all year to our exclusive tool that basically links to your Fantrax ID and gives you weekly pickups. It gives you trade value for your players. It gives you fixture difficulty tracker all year long. Rest of season player value tracker, all of these kind of things, and it's bespoke to your exact Fantrax league through your Fantrax ID. So check it out. We think it's massively worth it. I mean, it ends up being a couple bucks a week, honestly, for the whole season, and helps us keep the lights on. So okay, that is the end of the ad read. Thank you to everybody who already supports us. Truly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. The work that we put in is tireless. Certainly it's a lot, but we do it because we love this game. We do it because we love this community. So cheers, everybody. Thank you. All right. Today on the show, we're talking hot takes. So I asked all of the TDS analysts to do a little devil's advocate work. I asked them to give me some hot takes, some unorthodox takes ahead of this 25-26 season. We're going to go through one of those hot takes per Draft Society analyst, which will be interesting. You'll see their name first, and then you will see their hot take, and we will debate them live. Nobody on the show with me knows what anyone else said except for just themselves. So this will be a surprise to everybody. As we start to debate them, they'll be reacting to them live. So that'll be fun. But first, we're going to talk Sunderland. We have with us Tom Husband. We have with us Sanjy, who just had a little conversation of their own about Sunderland on Bantah Boys. And we're going to have maybe not quite a similar one because we don't structure it the same way you do, Sanjy, but we are going to talk through some of their fantasy assets today and what to expect. And Tom, obviously, you being a lifelong fan, we thought who better to talk about it with?
Yeah, I guess the high notes of it will probably be rubbish. But I mean, I'm hopeful that the club, like, we've put in quite a lot of business so far this season.
Yeah,
and I'd say that we've got some pretty exciting names who've come into the club. In terms of like just the pure quality of the players, I'd say that it's the best squad since genuinely since I can remember. Like our current team, I'd say, is a lot better than like a lot of the teams that we had whilst we were in the Prem.
Yeah,
which I think does speak to the quality of the sort of lower half of the Premiership. It's not even called that anymore, is it? But in the last like 10 years, it's the gap between the Championship and the Prem. But those lower Prem sides, because of all the TV deals and all that, their squads are so much better. So even though I'm looking at the Sunderland lineup and thinking this is the best Sunderland team I've ever seen, I'm not. I'm still quite worried, and obviously we've got an outside shot of staying up. Decided to go with the realistic take instead of wearing the club on the sleeve. You know,
it would be a lot more, maybe a lot more comforting if like Leeds had been more like Burnley, where they're not really doing a whole lot in the transfer market, but instead they're really attacking it just like you guys are, which is kind of interesting to see two different promoted teams like really, really going for it.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting actually. So if you were to ask Leeds fans, they'd say that our transfer strategy has been wait until they're linked with a player and put a bid in, and then we just bid 5 million more. So that happened with Diarra and Siddiqui, where we just Leeds put in. I think we've been like obviously tracking them for a long time. I don't think we're making our transfer business purely out of spite. But yeah, so we've been tracking them. Leeds put a bid in, and they're like, no, you're not, lads. Like, we're getting this guy. Go in, swoop in, get the deal done. There at the Stadium of Light. But yeah, a few weeks ago, the Leeds fans were getting pretty frustrated with us just nicking all their targets.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's a great segue, I think, because basically the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was those transfers. So people can see on their screens if you are on YouTube or if you're watching this later on Spotify. You know, if you're listening to it, turn your phone sideways and you can see what we're talking about. But otherwise, I'll just kind of tell people what we've got going on in terms of your transfers. So Habib Diarra in central midfield. Simon Adingra, of course, kind of a bigger name one only because, you know, he's previously been in the Premier League and people know the name. Enzo Lafie on a permanent, right? He was already loaned.
Yeah, so we had Lafay on a loan in January with an obligation if we went up.
Okay. There you go. Help me with this next name.
Chemsdean Talby.
Is it just Chemsdean? Okay, that's interesting.
Well, it's not, but he's Moroccan Belgian, isn't he? But
that's the best. That's the best bet we've got.
You should have let Joe take a crack at it.
The only people I've heard say his name before have been on Sunderland podcast with a very strong Macam accent. So
okay, fair.
They're not pronouncing it right either.
Because I'm like, Chemsdean. Yeah, no, I've no idea. No idea how to say that. Anyway, yeah. So right winger, 20 mil. Euros, of course. And then you already mentioned Siddiqui coming in from Union, and then Reynildo. And I understand that's all he goes by, right? Is just Reynildo for the most part.
Yeah, that's like what's on his back in that.
Yeah. And he came in on a free. He's 31. But again, free transfer. So that's what we've got as far as the transfers are concerned. Which of these excites you most, or which of these have the potential to be day one locked and loaded starters?
I'd say everyone there apart from Siddiqui is a starter day one. Siddiqui, he'll share minutes with Diarra and Dan Neil in the 2 in a 4-2-3-1. Siddiqui might start. He's not fantasy relevant in any way. If he starts, he'll be as the sort of 6, as playing as a sweeper in front of the back four. Whereas everyone else has at least some interest. Reynaldo, I mean, he's a defensive left back, is what we've signed him to be. With Tri-Hume is going to be like bombing up the other side. So he's also like, don't even think of, no one's going to draft him, I assume, without me saying this, but don't even think about drafting Reynaldo. Chemsdean Talby, he's on the right wing. He's absolutely rapid, and I think he gets what value he has is boosted by the fact that he's on the same side of the pitch as Hume. And I think, he'll be our starting right winger. Potentially, he could be a minutes issue, like getting hooked at 60 minutes for Roberts. But I guess we'll have to see how that works out. Habib Diarra, he'll be in sort of 8. He'll be probably I think we want him to be an attacking 8, but with Sunderland, it's not going to be the case. But he is so he captained Strasbourg to 7th in Ligue 1 last year at 21. So he's a very good player, and he does have the ability to crash into the box on like the late crosses. And so he could get a few goals from that. But overall, I think he's going to be more in the build-up play. He's going to be one of our like progressive carriers to sort of pass, get the ball to the likes of Lefay, Adingra and Talby before it then goes into the box.
Okay.
And then, the 2, I think, are most valuable. And they have the 2 highest ADPs, I think, of Sunderland players. I guess my ender. But Adingra and Lefay will be on set pieces. He's the kind of player he gets on the ball, and he just looks to make that sort of killer pass in behind the defence. And we've got 2 quite fast strikers who will be able to run onto the balls that he puts out. And then Adingra, he's what we've been crying out for. He's got Premier League experience, and he's just a good player.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we all know him. We all love him.
Fantastic player. Yeah, I'm really excited that he'll be able to go somewhere that he gets to play week in and week out and really show his skill. It's an interesting one. I mean, they're certainly making the right moves. You just kind of alluded to ADP, so let's take a look at that quick. So for those listening, obviously average draft positions. So there already are mock drafts going on, and believe it or not, we've already gotten emails from people asking us advice on trades because they've already done their drafts. Like, what are you doing? Anyway.
Sickos.
Yeah, honestly. And the guy was like, well, there's some babies that are going to be due coming up and like some work changes. And I'm like, yeah, but that's still, guys, that's crazy. Anyway. Okay. So we already have ADP is the long and short of it. And so what we're seeing as far as ADP is concerned, Simon Adingra currently 83.3 is his ADP, which on this show we normally look at things from like a 12-team perspective. That's the majority of the major like community leagues that we play in, and ideally, we just think as far as the game is concerned, it's more of a challenge when you have those kind of 12 teams. But yeah, so anyway, 83 is what?
7,
like
11?
6.
7th or 8th round.
Is it?
Yeah. Because 6 rounds would have completed, right? So you're starting the 7th going.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
84 is the end of the 7th. Yeah.
So okay, end of the 7th. But I've seen him go earlier than that too. With the recent news, it concerns me a little bit. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's way too early. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's the question of whether you think his prospects have improved after the move or not, where it's one of those sort of war versus game time conversations where he'll obviously play a lot more at Sunderland, but he'll probably get less points per game.
Yeah.
I think we had this conversation maybe one pod or two pods ago. Not to bury the lead, but he's in my overvalued article. Love him as a player, very talented, but his scores last season were atrocious. Doesn't ghost particularly well. So his kind of breakout season 2 seasons ago, he relied mostly on attacking returns to get like 9 PPS. I don't see him ghosting all of a sudden at Sunderland, and obviously in a much poorer team. Sorry, the attacking returns won't be there in abundance, and so to compensate for that, you got to ghost, and he just doesn't ghost. So I think it's a kind of name recognition and the hope that now that he's going to play week in, week out, he'll do better. And the cherry on top is AFCON. So all that considered, I'm not touching him with the 10-foot pole.
Oh man, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think AFCON is a pretty big worry of those signings that you mentioned before. 4 of them are going to AFCON.
Oh no. That's crazy.
Actually, 5 of them. I think Reynildo is going as well.
Which are the 5, by the way, Tom? Just to let the listeners know.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So Adingra, Diarra, Talbi, Siddiqui, and Reynildo, I believe, are all going to AFCON.
Blimey.
That's wild.
Xhaka.
Yeah. So that start of the season is more important than ever then.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've actually got enough people going to AFCON that we can ask the Prem to delay some of our games. But
okay,
that's apparently a rule.
That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah,
I wonder what the threshold is.
Yeah, because there was all of those conversations about clubs trying to stop their players going to AFCON a few years ago.
Yeah,
because it's obviously in the middle of the season, and FIFA and the African board obviously kicked off on that one, and so I think they introduced this as a potential way of getting around it. I don't know. I think it's the whole tournament's about 6 games this year. Obviously, Mozambique aren't going to make it to the final, but so Reynildo should be back pretty soon. But we might try and delay a couple of our games.
Damn.
Does that mean possible double game weeks then?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on it. I don't know. It's been mooted as a possibility. There's been no club statement saying we've asked to delay our games or anything like that. It's just that could happen at some point.
Nice.
There's no silver lining.
Yeah. Ryan alluded to the potential Granit Xhaka transfer that's been floating around the interwebs. Tom, do you think that has any legs? Can that actually happen?
Well, apparently he's told Leverkusen that he only wants Sunderland, which is a fairly baffling statement, but one that I wholeheartedly appreciate. It seems like the club are extremely interested, and the murmurings from Germany have been that the club are willing to let him go for a price. Ten Hag doesn't want to lose him, but Xhaka wants to come back to the Premier League.
No wonder he wants to leave Leverkusen. Oh, that makes so much sense now.
What?
Ten Hag.
Oh, sure. Yeah, got it. Makes sense. Did you not know that he was named manager?
Completely missed that. I thought this guy decided to, take a sabbatical, it would have made sense for him, really.
Yeah, you're right. You really can't blame him, unfortunately.
Damn.
The amount of big name players that they will have lost this transfer window if he goes is pretty crazy. But
then he has an excuse then. Good for him.
That's a different pod. No, I mean, Tom, that would be. I mean, he's 31 now, which is whatever. I mean, that is veteran leadership, incredible veteran leadership, and just a guy who, I mean, like he gives his all every single match. I mean, he does not quit.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got a brilliant range of passing on him, and he's also got that little bit of bite in midfield that the Sunderland squad's lacked for the last while, sort of since Catamol left, really. I mean, obviously he's not quite as much of a brute as Catamol was. Well, not anymore. The time at Arsenal had certainly some moments, but I mean, I obviously hope that it happens. He can probably take a penalty. No one else in our squad can, so that would be nice. And I'd love to see him in the derby, preferably 2-footing Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's close it off by asking or talking about just some of the guys we haven't really mentioned as much. So I'm not going to pull up on the screen or really allude too much to our projections. Those are in the draft kit. And like I said, if you're willing to support an independent fantasy football website, then go ahead and head over to draftsociety.com and grab the draft kit. You can see all those there. But what I will say is what you're seeing on the screen are Fantrax projections. And well, those are not great. So they've got Simon Adingra with 4.12 points per game. They've got
solid.
Yep. Pretty solid. They've got Mayenda at 8, just over 8. Enzo Lefebvre 9.4. And then Hume with an interesting 11.4. Now that is one thing I want to pause on because actually he is our highest WAR, like wins above replacement player on Sunderland as well. So we have actually ranked him not the same PPG or PPS that they have, because obviously theirs are way overblown most of the time. But we actually do seem to find him to be a draftable asset as far as our WAR numbers are concerned and as far as our projections go. So how are you feeling about him with the potential that you all might let in a goal or two?
Yeah, I think his value is quite dependent on us bringing in another centre-back, because it doesn't matter how good he is. If we're playing Luke 09 at left centre-back, then we're going to concede about 5 goals every game.
That's my concern. That's kind of what I was hinting at.
I think his ghost will be good. He does everything that you'd want. He gets forward, he gets crosses, last year he got assists, he got goals. He's got a pretty good volley on him, and we target him on set pieces occasionally. And he just like his stats for blocks, interceptions, tackles is just like for a wing back are just through the roof. So he'll get points. He's a very good all-rounder right back, but whether it's basically if he can outghost how leaky our defense will be.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, that's exactly kind of what I was wondering. You know, like, is it going to be more of an Alfie Doughty, or is it going to be more of a almost every other player we see come from a promoted team?
I think if we sign a centre back, I think he'll be a good asset. I think I've been quite happy drafting him in the mocks that I've been doing, and I'll probably end up taking him in like community leagues as well.
Yeah,
he's a player I like. He was our player of the season last year, and he's of like the permanent signings that we had. Like, he was our best player last year, and I think he's the closest to being ready for the Prem. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do.
Nice.
Where does he get his points? I'm guessing key passes and ACNCs.
Yeah, so key passes, attacking returns partially. They'll obviously most likely completely dry up next season. But also what the OFPL are calling defensive contribution points, or whatever they are. He just gets those defensive ghosts. He's quite big for a wing back. He wins quite a few aerials sort of down on the wing and at the back post. And he's just absolutely fearless in the defense, like charging down shots and that kind of thing.
Huh.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Well, last thing, because we've already kind of mentioned the striker position. You said potentially they might be still in the market for one, and or just the fact that you don't think that what you've currently got up top is Premier League level, we'll say.
Yeah, we were in for a striker recently, but that move fell through. I think Isidore and Mayenda, I think they could do a job as a Premier League striker, but more by facilitating things around them and more like off the ball work and making runs to get our wingers into better goal scoring opportunities. They're both very quick and will be playing on the counter the entire season, and so they will still have some goal threat. There's the question of whether they were very quick in the Championship but of average Premier League pace, or if they can still get in behind the defence even a league higher. The biggest issue I have with our forwards is they'll split game time quite a bit. Occasionally we do play two up top, but that's like under very specific circumstances, and in pre-season so far we have played the 4-2-3-1. It's the game time split. If one of them's out of form, Labrise has shown that he's more than happy to just swap them around. And there's also, I mentioned it before to Talby, but they do get subbed off for each other quite a lot, sort of at the 60-minute mark, between 60 and 70 minutes in.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's not ideal. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, Sanjy, Ryan, do you all have any other Sunderland-related questions before we move along?
No, I didn't know this was going to be a segment.
Yeah.
I already heard Tom give me all the juicy info last night, so he's
nice.
Pretty much told you everything that he's told me. So yeah,
beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing, Tom. We appreciate the insider information. I mean, to a certain extent, being a fan. Not that you're an ITK or claim to be one. All right, let's move right along. Okay, it's what you're all here for. Hot takes. Let's do this. So basically what I did was Draft Espresso. You've been Macummed. Yeah, nice. Absolutely. Dreaded Magpie. Wasn't too excited about it. But regardless, moving along. Okay. Unorthodox hot takes. So what I did was ask each of the Draft Society analysts to give me some hot takes. They don't know which of their hot takes was chosen, and they don't know any of the hot takes that anybody else submitted. So they're going to be seeing them for the first time right now, and we will debate them and get their reactions live as listeners, viewers, as you see them as well.
And then do we guess whose hot take it was?
No, I'm going to show you that first.
Come on.
I'd have to redo the whole...
Ryan was ready to come out shooting, boy.
That's a great idea, Ryan. I wish you'd have said something earlier.
Well, you can fast forwards and so unless you take a quick screenshot, you don't know. It could be a blur.
No, because I think their name is on both slides.
All right, never mind.
It's okay. Next time. I like it. I like it
though. They probably would have been glaringly obvious anyways, but
it's
still.
a really creative idea. I love it. And I also wrote 25-25 season. Fuck it.
Amazing.
Man, just moving. First half of the season, man.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
I'll write it.
All right. Okay, guys. We got Draft Lad up first. If you don't follow him, what are you doing with your life? This is Draft Lad's hot take.
If this is about Harvey Elliott, I'm leaving.
Let me know what you guys think. Here we go. Rodri's comeback is getting slept on big time. He's going to be a fantastic fantasy asset again and is a great value in the 4th round.
I would have preferred Harvey Elliott slide instead.
Yeah, seriously. I completely disagree.
Same.
And again, I don't need to give away my entire article, but he's also in the overvalued article.
This is where I'm curious, because for those who don't know, Draft Lad does take on the incredibly hefty duty of a lot of the numbers work and including our projections. So let's see how much he does actually like Rodri. He's got him for 27 starts with a 10.2 point per start average.
Is that 4th round?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that even if he hits that, best case scenario?
Oh my god.
Current ADP is 50.
His best season was 2 seasons ago, and it was like 11-ish PPS. And before that, it was like 8-ish basically every season. So like 2 seasons ago, it was an aberration. Plus, he's just coming off an ACL injury, which, however way you spin it, is not a good thing.
Yeah,
and I mean, they were clearly still like playing softly in the Club World Cup, and I think they'll do that obviously in the beginning of the season. Plus, with all these new systems, like, who knows if he's going to play the old role 2 seasons ago where he actually was in the attack and getting decent points. So, like, respectfully, I disagree.
I do too. I wrote the whole City article, and the preview is actually out now. I think it came out yesterday. Anyway, it'll be out this week. Regardless, the preview talks about the system that they employed during the Club World Cup, the new, kind of the fresh new, if you want to call it, like a 4-1-4-1. Sorry. And yeah, that being the case, I think he's going to be even deeper. I think he's going to play even deeper than he used to. I don't know that he's going to have much opportunity to get involved in attack. Plus, we saw 2 different players also play there during the Club World Cup. Reinders played back there, and was it? I can't remember the difference between the Nicholases. It would have been Nico, right?
Nico Riley.
Yeah. So he played there, and Reinders played there as well, and they all 3 kind of split time. I'm with you.
I genuinely would love to hear the like pro argument, because obviously there is one if you believe so strongly in it. I just don't know what it is.
It would have to be
that he just replicates. He just goes back to where he left off in 23-24.
I'm surprised, like, he's so confident about recovering from such a serious injury, and like just assuming things are just gonna go fine, handy dandy. Like, you're not the same player after such a severe injury. So
yeah.
Unless you're Yuri and Timber.
Hey,
true.
AKA
ahead,
Wolverine.
He wasn't the most mobile player really in the Premier League before his injury.
Right.
He's not that young, is he? Like, he's getting on a little bit, and I'd take him in like a later round, but as a maybe. But 4th round, like, any time before 7th, I'd be a bit dubious on if he's going to give my team any value, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking City players, I think this season I'm looking for them to be in that front 4-1, not the back 4-1.
Dead. I'm just avoiding Rodri completely. I'm not playing with that fire.
Yeah. We will talk more about City later, so we can always come back to this. Oh, Haroon says, oh no. Haroon has a prediction in chat. Sanjy, if you want to check.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fiend for James Ward-Prowse.
Right.
What can I say? I love him.
But yours actually is not about James Ward-Prowse. We'll get to that in a minute.
It is not. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's hear from Genie, our old friend, the Draft Genie.
Ooh.
So, Genie's take is, and this is an interesting one. We're going to talk a lot about drafting positionally, and at what point in the draft should you draft what position, and how many of X position do you need by the time you get to X round. So this is the first of that discussion. He says, going mid is your best option if you miss out on the final forward one, who he claims is Cunha. I'm curious if you guys, first of all, think that Cunha is the last forward one.
I think Gyökeres is probably that now.
I mean, this is Genie. For all we know, he's ranked Cunha at 25, and he thinks that there's 13 forward ones. So
True.
That is very true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. We just updated our ranks. They go out tomorrow. So let's see where Genie. I don't know if he's updated his yet because he still has Gyökeres at 200.
Yeah, mine should finish by tonight, hopefully.
I know that from his preview article that he was higher on Cunha than Mbeumo, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's got Cunha at 9.
It's
Cunha at 9, Mbeumo at 15. So he does not consider Mbeumo to be. Let's not say. I don't think he meant forward 1 because forward 1 would imply that there are 12 of them, right?
Yeah. Elite forward, I guess.
That's what he means. He means like
worthy of a first round pick.
Yep. Top tier.
So that means, he doesn't count Mbeumo or Bowen or
Semenyo,
obviously,
Ekitike,
Watkins, Marmoush, all them. Yeah.
Watkins. Yeah.
I mean, I think Mbeumo is, and I think Gyökeres probably is. So I disagree with the premise, but if you do believe that, then yeah. But you're in trouble.
Yeah, but so moving on then, because if we're imagining that this person, whoever he's talking about here, they're probably picking 10, 11, 12. And so, because we're normally seeing Cunha go about 9, right? Somewhere in there, where Genie has him ranked. So if that's the case, then this person going mid would mean that they're waiting till the end of the 3rd round to take their first forward.
Yeah, that puts you in. Let me see here. 537. Yeah, then you're probably looking for someone like Solanke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I think he's decent value this season. So it's not terrible, but yeah, if they all go, then you're reaching for like Elanga or Mateta or somebody of that ilk, which as your forward 1 is pretty egregious.
That's rough.
So,
it's really rough.
Yeah, it's a gamble. But I'm not totally against it.
I don't think it matters. Well, it's I don't think getting a forward in the first 2 rounds is strictly necessary. It's mostly that's a fine option going midfielder. It's just going to come down to personal preference of who you prefer out of the bids available at the start, the second, and the forwards. And I don't really think that positional bias matters. You just take whoever you think is going to be the best player on your team at that point.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting because, like, I guess it kind of comes down to how much of a reach is it? Like, are the midfielders available that much better than the forwards? Even if you're reaching a few picks on a forward, would you rather shore up 2 positions? I think I would, but I don't know. Rishi's basically saying it a different way. He said, isn't his take that the mids or defenders in round 1 and 2 offer more value than the forwards below Cunha? Yes, essentially. That's what he's saying.
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, but waiting till like round 3, round 4 for your first forward, like, I mean, based on mocks that are happening right now, this is like pre-Gyökeres and Ekitike mocks. It's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, it's brutal. You need to try and get as it stands right now. Like, if you were drafting tomorrow, for example, because clearly we've seen people already start their leagues. If you're drafting tomorrow and neither of those forwards are there, then I think you need to take a forward in that first couple of rounds. Like I think you can wait on the midfielders later on as well.
Like, I get his point. Is there that much of a difference between somebody like Bowen versus Diallo, Odegaard, Enzo, Iwobi, McNeil? Like, I think I'd rather have Bowen than all those guys.
I love that we have the same reaction.
That was
amazing.
awesome.
Coordinate that.
It's the lack of ghosts though for Bowen. That's the only. And I mean, like, West Ham have not really made any signings. Like, they don't fill me with like a lot of inspiration. It's just because Bowen is Bowen, and we just know how reliable it is in terms of just getting goals and assists. Like, if West Ham do something. But at the same time, it's like now with Gyökeres confirmed, I'm like moving Odegaard slightly higher. Enzo for me is probably a bit of bias there, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough, man. The forward pool at the moment it's not pretty.
Yeah. I just finished the West Ham preview, and it things are rough. Things are rough at the London Stadium.
Must have actually been pretty easy. Not many to choose from.
It's not great.
Yeah,
it's not great.
God.
Yeah, and they have like a pretty bare bones squad at the moment too. It's like they really need to make some signings.
Yep. I don't know if Potter gets a decent job after this. Like, he hasn't actually put out a good side in years at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he's a spent force.
Yeah, I don't know. This would be the type of team he would do well with if they back him. I guess I'll have to see. But
I mean, they backed him pretty well last season. I mean, they already had Kudus. They brought in Füllkrug and Gree. I mean, he was pretty well backed.
Yeah, but those weren't his guys, were they? Those were Lopetegui's guys.
Yeah, still. Apparently, he doesn't have guys. If judging by this window.
No. Well, what's even funnier is because now I have a bunch of West Ham podcasts that I have on my feed because I had to write the thing, and I'll probably delete them. But I listened to one yesterday, and they were like, it was basically everybody just being super pissed off that they were going to go for Callum Wilson, and Potter had just come out and said he didn't really need another striker. And so then the management, the ownership responded by being like, well, I think we're going to talk to Callum Wilson. The entire fan base is like, what the fuck? That's not the type of player we're looking for. We don't need more old players on this team, of which they have a lot, I'll remind you. Yeah, it's tough sledding.
They should have just kept Antonio.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Okay, cool. Good on that one. We'll actually end up talking more about that, but we'll leave it there for now. Tom. Actually, no. We'll continue to talk about that. All right.
Why have you cropped that for Jack Colback?
Well, that's how it was on your Twitter.
Amazing.
Yeah. The emphasis being on Colback lying on the ground. Yeah. Anyway, so Tom's hot take. Here we go. And actually, this is going to kind of be in a similar vein, unintentionally. So he's saying positional balance in a draft doesn't matter. It's always best player available. It's always best to go best player available. Don't reach for a forward one if the next best mid gives more value. We just kind of talked about that, but I'm curious. You said in a positional balance in a draft, like at all in a draft, it's always better to go best player available.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does have some limits. I would never suggest, for instance, taking a midfielder in your first 7 picks.
Genie.
But it's, fundamentally, if taking a midfielder gets you a better player than taking a forward, then do that. They'll give you more wins above replacement, as it were, if that's a stat that you like, and that will get you higher up the table than having a mediocre forward. I'd rather have a very solid mid three than be there like, oh no, I need a forward, and taking like Mateta, who I don't rate. I don't see why I need my teams to be balanced, really. I'd happily roll out a 4-5-1 if my 4 defenders were better than my second best striker.
I totally agree. I've regardless of like the dearth of forwards or abundance, I mean it fluctuates every season seemingly. I rarely have started more than 2 forwards, and I make it a point to never roster more than 3. I mean, you just need one. There's great value in midfielders. Yeah, I never got the point of making sure that you like draft 4 to 5 forwards. Like, again, it can burn a hole in your roster, and you just need to find one decent one. So yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah, this is what's so funny is because
You need one.
Robbie says forward scarcity is a myth. Take best player available. And Ryan, one of your hot takes that I didn't use was you only need 2 forwards.
That's right.
Like,
yeah, I did.
Like, don't force yourself into taking shitty forwards because you only need 2 forwards. So, like, if so many of us are in agreement on this, why the hell are we talking about this forward scarcity?
The problem is it's a drop in quality. It's quality, not quantity. You need one. You still need one.
Okay.
And ideally an elite one, because they bang in most of the goals. So yeah, if I have an elite forward, I'm fine waiting, till rounds 10 or 11 to get reinforcements, and I'll do best player available all day.
You would just sit on the 1 forward and then
unless a value forward became
falls.
the best player available at some point in the rest of the draft, yeah, I'd be content for the next several rounds.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. I like it. Yeah, because we've kind of made a lot of the lack of depth in the forward pool. And I think sometimes we do get into the mindset where it's like lack of depth in the forward pool means that, your starting options are really limited. But as you mentioned, you only have to start 1. And so the fact that you can start 3 doesn't actually mean anything. There's no reason
to just mention a difference between, I guess, mine and Robbie's take there is that I don't believe that forward scarcity is a myth.
Okay.
Like, I think there is a dearth of forwards this year. I just don't care.
I like that.
I'll rock up with like Strand Larson as my only forward all year.
No,
I'm quite happy.
Oh,
that's a bridge too far for me.
He's better than Lewis Potter, mate.
True. However,
you're gonna handcuff the 2 Sunderland forwards and call it a day.
Yeah, probably if that happens. So sorry. Richie's put in the chat about if best player available is a forward and you draft 6 forwards. Like,
yeah,
there is some level of logic to apply to what I'm saying. Like, I'd take 5 midfielders and then I wouldn't take another midfielder necessarily. And like, I probably wouldn't take 5 midfielders in like the first 5 rounds. I'd probably have a defender in there, but yeah, I'm not going to fill out my roster with one position and just be like, oh, well, I've got the best midfield in the game, so that's good enough for me. It's yeah,
no, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Rishi said that, because I think you can get into the mindset where there's a forward dearth. I have to like figure out ways to get forwards on my team, and then that leads you to actually overdraft them. Right. So I think, and part of your hot take here is more of just like a word of caution, I think, as well. It's like cautioning people away from taking these like overly goal dependent forwards, kind of low PPS forwards, which is really ironic that you said you would have Strand Larson as your forward number 1, but it's fine. I'll leave that to the side.
I've seen people taking like Chris Wood in the 4th round.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Like, yeah, like because all the other forward, let's just get a run of forwards happens, and all of a sudden everyone's like, well, oh no, I've only got one forward, I need to get another one, and they just take the next person up on fan tracks, and there's absolutely no point of doing that. Like,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so almost like preaching a little bit of patience, preaching just a little bit of like level-headedness. Don't get swept up in this. I don't think it's like Robbie says. I don't think it's a myth. But don't get swept up in this idea that forward scarcity is like the be all end all. Nice. All right. Any other takes on that? Thoughts on Tom's hot take?
Beautiful. On the like positional balance issue, like I'm kind of going back and forth on defenders. Like I'd love like an elite defender or to like punt on a new one, like from somebody like Frimpong. But there's so much good value later on in the draft, defender wise, that like I want them all.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna struggle with that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what Keith's saying in chat right now. Doesn't that mean that defenders would technically be being undervalued if you apply the same logic?
Yeah, I feel like in mocks that I've done recently, like if you can do a combination of mids and forwards until like round 9, then I think you can get defenders like Chris Richards, etc. So, and I don't mind Chris Richards as my defender 1. Like I'd rather go there than like a City defender or some random bloke from Fulham or something like that. Just to fill a slot. Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I see what you mean. For sure. This is why this got me thinking. Okay. This got me thinking. So when Tom mentioned Chris Wood, I wanted to kind of like look at their, at least in terms of our projections, their kind of projected WAR, wins above replacement, meaning like how much better are they than, any random waiver wire player you can find, and how much value do they sort of add to your team and your likelihood to win over the course of a season. So for those who don't know, like a 1.0 WAR is really, really good. So you're going to hear numbers like 0.3, 0.2, and it's still better than an average like run-of-the-mill streamer player. All right, so over the course of the season, would you all rather have Wan-Bissaka or Chris Wood?
Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. He technically has a lower WAR, 0.4, where Chris Wood has a 0.47. But that's very close.
Yeah, but 1B only cooked towards the end of the season, right? Chris Wood was like an enigma the entire season.
They reversed because Chris Wood sucked.
Yeah, Wood's time was last season. I mean, got him in the 10th round. Now he's overvalued.
Yeah.
Quickly turns like that.
I mean, you want to talk about round 4 or 5, right? Would you rather, over the course of a full season, would you rather spend a 5th round draft pick on Liam Delap, or wait a couple rounds and take Michael Coyote?
Coyote.
I don't want either, really.
I mean,
that question's kind of broken my brain there a bit, Joe. Why can't I do both? Well, I don't want to do both necessarily.
Why can't I avoid both?
You can.
Yeah, neither.
I've got a gun to my head telling me that if I don't take Delap now, I'm taking Coyote in round 6. Like,
you can. The idea is that Delap is one of these forwards with a question mark that we have him as 0.3 WAR, but right around that same area are guys who are going to start basically every week. Coyote's right around there. Ait Nori 0.2. Milos Kerkez 0.26. Magalhaes 0.21 WAR. And so these are all guys that are not going around the same area in the draft, but technically, if you sort it by WAR, the value they add to your team, wins above replacement, technically these players are adding just about the same value to your team.
So it sounds like I shouldn't pick Delap.
I mean, I just think this is an argument in favor of what you're saying here.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, that got a little wonky for some people. I'll move along. We'll talk about things other than advanced statistics now. All right, Sanjy at Bantah. Follow him. If you're not, what are you doing with your life? Okay, Solanke will be a top 20 player by the end of the season. That's a very simple, straightforward one. Top 20 player.
Yeah, so my logic was just how Wissert thrived at Brentford in the last season. I just assume that Thomas Frank is going to have a similar effect on the centre forward at Spurs. I mean, we've seen, has Solanke not had a 20-goal season already? But it was at Bournemouth, right?
2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
He had 22 goals and assists.
Yeah. So, I mean, he has it in his locker to be a top Premier League striker, and it makes me feel sick saying that about a Spurs player. But yeah, that's my logic behind it. It's Thomas Frank effect. Tom, you can just say it on the stream, damn it.
You're taking
beauty
heat.
of being on.
I did sell the Nkunku dream, and I was wrong, and I'm human. Thank you, Rishi.
the way that you said that. Thank you, Rishi.
It's like people not allowed to make mistakes in this life, boy. Hush.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, aside from the heat that you're taking in chat, this is definitely bold. I mean, this is for sure bold. Looking at his last season numbers, my concern is just how goal dependent he was. Like, to be a top 20 player, you really need to either score Salah level goals or you need to like get points from other things.
Yeah, but different coach, different football philosophy. Like, we can easily see the Spurs assets score completely differently. Like, Kudus that was shit at West Ham last season could probably go back. Not as good as we want him to be, but definitely better than last season, I would expect.
Yeah.
I hate to agree, but
Damn.
Whoa!
I wrote him in the undervalued article
Wow.
yesterday, so it's like fresh in my head. I don't think top 20, but I think he's value where he's being drafted, and he has every opportunity to turn things around and at least try to replicate his old Bournemouth form. Yeah, he's a bit too goal dependent for my liking, but yeah, as we just kind of talked about, if I don't have a forward one and it's the end of the 3rd round, beginning of the 4th, I'm definitely taking him as my forward one on the off chance that Frank gets a tune out of him.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily think he will be a top 20 player. That's not a bet I'd lay. It only takes him having like a purple patch of sort of getting like 7 goals in a couple months, which he's done before. He could do quite easily, and all of a sudden he shoots up the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, Sanjy, Justin asking, does this account for Gibbs White being there, or do you think it doesn't matter? And then Rishi asking, does he start every game when fit? He can see Frank rotating a bit.
I don't think it matters with Morgan Gibbs White or not. I'm speaking solely from like just how Wissa thrived under Thomas Frank at Brentford, like just that striker role, like a finisher, etc. And in terms of speaking about fitness, man, Ange broke every single human at that football club. So I refuse to make a comparison of like fitness levels and longevity of Spurs players from last season to what we expect for the coming season.
I'm just looking at top 20 from last year. Chris Wood and Yohan Wissa, both in the top 20, both notoriously goal dependent.
Yep.
I mean, obviously we can talk about Haaland, we can talk about Isak, although Haaland ghosts better than you think he would. But there are goal dependent players in the top 20. I mean, it just takes a certain, obviously, number of goals. But the fact that, Chris Wood's in there, I mean, I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. Can somebody just clip Ryan agreeing with me though before we move on? Thank you.
Well, he said,
don't get used to it.
He said
still not top 20, but value.
Hence the clip.
He said he wasn't sure about the top 20, but I don't worry. I'll edit it in a way where it sounds like he agreed exactly with what you said.
Deep fake.
Yeah. All right. Robbie P at A Team of Karas. If you're not following him, what are you doing with your life? Here is his hot take. Nico Jackson would be great for Manchester United if they signed him both in real life and as a fantasy asset.
Almighty.
You didn't whisper that low enough.
Yeah, sorry. I should turn my volume down. Based on what? Nobody, even players that are coming off a heater, go to Man United and die. This is a terrible, terrible, toxic relationship in the making.
He's definitely taking some heat in chat at the moment. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
It's weird coming from Robbo.
Yeah, well, I mean, he could just be suggesting it just for a nice debate
for Vance.
Yeah.
Well,
would you like me to argue?
I think he believes it.
I think I sort of. I didn't say it directly, but I kind of wanted you guys to be honest. So I think he believes this.
Yeah. I'm assuming the argument is like it can't get any worse. Hoyland's trash.
Yeah,
everybody else, Xerxes trash. I mean, he has some talent. Maybe playing with Bruno and Mbumo and Cunha does something for him. But dear God, no.
Hey, look, Matty. Look,
Matt. Somebody's finally coming to his defense. Jackson's a lot better than most people give him credit for. I mean,
it goes back to the issue, when we were discussing the fact that at one point there were 4 Man United players in the top 15 by ADP. And there's just Man United aren't going to produce enough goals or like shots in a game for that to be sustainable. And so if anything, he might take some value away from some of those guys.
True.
But he'll suffer. I'm not going to say he'll suffer by playing like with what are traditionally quite good Fantrax assets, but there's still only so much. Like I don't think he'd be a great asset. He might be a viable like forward 2 sort of thing for people that believe in such classifications.
I think he would be fine. Like, people forget about how he started last season. And there were folks that drafted him that were well on their way to winning their leagues. Like, he was very good from a fantasy aspect.
I mean, as a human, I hope he gets to move. I hope he gets to play football.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try and fight for Robbie here a little bit. Taking it outside of like Fantrax and football, that is just like he will get an opportunity to prove himself without the pressure of his actual parent club, like needing to perform, or like, you know, the fans berating him. Because like it's right, it's like what Ryan said, right? There really is very little competition to be much more shit than what they already have.
Yeah.
So there really is no pressure for him to perform and just try and give it his best. And maybe in some weird messed up world it could potentially click for them. Plus, like, again, no Europe, it's just the Premier League day in day out, because I don't think they're going to do anything in the FA or EFL Cup. Yeah, I'm gonna back Robbie's hot take. Somebody has to.
Let's game this out. It's
Okay.
game week 1.
Yep.
Man United versus Arsenal. Bruno, the 5th through ball that Nico Jackson somehow stays offside for. What do you think? What do you think Bruno, who bitches about every single thing, is going to do? He's going to fucking melt down.
Yeah.
There's no way those two can play with each other. No fucking way.
See, it's amazing that you think Nico Jackson's going to be able to last long enough on the pitch to wait for the 5th key pass, but yeah.
True.
No, I completely get your arguments as well, Ryan. Like it sounds like absolute madness, but yeah, you never know.
Oh man, I hate to say that I don't hate it. I don't agree with it, but I like if so in Tom's scenario or Ryan's scenario where I had one. So I have pick 11 in our league, Tom. And so if I took Jared Bowen, but then I went, mid. And then in like the 6th round, Nico Jackson's still sitting there. Bet your ass I'm going to take him if he's on Man United. I'm going to do it.
Joe, you're not going to bait me into taking Nico Jackson before you get the back-to-back picks, mate. Like...
But it's like getting to the point where would you rather one of the promoted strikers who sound all terrible or a possible gamble on Nico Jackson at United? Well, if it got to that point.
The irony about the promoted teams right now is that all of them need a striker. Like all of them.
That's his level.
I say this literally because I wrote 2 of the previews and Tom's currently writing the other one. Like all 3 of them currently need a striker. It's crazy. So that could actually add to our forward pool, which could be interesting.
A big difference between Nico Jackson and Højlund is that I would probably take Jackson at Sunderland.
That's an interesting one. He would see it as too much of a downgrade.
Well, I mean, both your forwards at Sunderland are like pacey guys that run past try to break the offside trap and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think I'm taking Jackson over a promoted striker.
Yeah,
I think Jackson needs like a proper number 9 to play off of. Like his link up and build up play and is actually pretty good. But like as the main man, he's a car crash.
Needs like an old school 4-4-2.
Yeah, something like that. Play like just behind the striker, something like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's what I see every time I play him, other than the offsides track and absolutely 0 sense of time and space.
Yeah. Somebody else can hold it up, and then once the ball is there, they give him the through ball. Yeah. All right. Are we ready to put this one to bed? Robbie got us going with this one. I like it. This is a really good one.
Yeah, he's trolling all of us.
Yeah. He's probably listening, just like, I can't believe they actually talked about this for 15 minutes. Fucking idiots. All right. Speaking of trolling, Ryan's next.
Oh God, which one did you choose?
CNFC 82. The one that I find honestly the most compelling, and that is, you said your 4th round pick is the most important pick of the draft.
Yeah. This is just like more of a gut feeling. I can pick and choose anecdotal evidence to bias my argument, but I just feel like if you nail the 4th round, there's great value there. It's like right in between like the obvious picks and like the sleepers, and like you can get kind of title winning value there if you play it right. And I always try to trade for an extra 4th round pick, just because I don't know if it's tradition at this point, but I just love that round, and I think it offers a ton of great value.
Do you think that's where the draft kind of like diverges a little bit? I'm reading into kind of what you're saying. Like, do you think that the picks up to that point are all kind of boilerplate?
Baked in,
like,
yeah.
We sort of expect them to have a certain, end result. Whereas like then when you get to the 4th, it's like you've done your research or you haven't, and you take, somebody you're going to end up regretting.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Yeah, I see Toddy with a really ignorant comment.
Ignorant.
He said, yeah. Imagine what he would have done without wasting that pick on Cree.
Yeah, exactly.
If he would have cantered to the league title.
Especially when all of us tried to talk him out of it. All of us tried to tell him.
Yeah. And it can lose you your league. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people in the comments that can be like, yeah, I wasted it on Somerville and it tanked my entire.
Some people are in home leagues that are actually competitive.
Yes.
So
this is true.
Just kidding, Toddy.
And this is and it's somehow Toddy's first time winning it, I believe. So let's make of that what you will.
Toddy, yours is up next, buddy. I'm glad you joined us.
So, Rod, is your idea more that the 4th round is where you can make up a lot of value on your league mates, and it's sort of almost like a litmus test of whether you've done your homework?
I think that's probably right, but I just feel like there's usually a few league winning picks in there, and nailing that kind of gives you that distance. It can provide that distance in the league. I don't know if it's just me or if there's any really science to it, but yeah, I really like it. And it's a shame I tried to get an extra 4th rounder, and it's a long story. It didn't. What is
4th round starts at 37? Yeah. So we've got currently.
I don't want to give away my targets in the 4th round.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But currently, we can talk through a couple of them. Currently, according to ADP, not yours. I'm just saying a couple of the guys.
But I'm sure they'll be in there.
Currently, according to ADP, we've got Anthony Alonga 37, Son 38.4, Savio 39.6, Frimpong 40, Van Dijk 43, Doku 45.1, Minte 47, Ait-Nouri 48, Kluivert 48, JP Mateta 49, Tielemans 50, Rodri, the aforementioned, is in there. Ryan Cherky, and then Kai Havertz, 2 interesting ones, and then James Tarkowski, and then Kulusevski, who's injured until like October.
As you can tell, a ton of gold, a ton of absolute minefields.
That is interesting. I did not realize that the 4th round was like that.
Yeah, it's a jungle out there.
Wow.
I thought you were gonna pick another one.
Which one?
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, the Gyökeres.
Oh, yeah.
Just too low hanging fruit, I suppose.
Yeah, I figured. What would you say? 20 goals?
Yeah.
20 goals. It didn't seem too outlandish to me, because I'm honestly pretty high on him too.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. A lot of people aren't, so I thought 20 would be like that's a really good take for a really good haul for a Premier League striker, especially debut season. But yeah, I get it. Maybe I should say like 25 or something. I guess
considering Havertz here in the 4th, we just mentioned, it depends on what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
That time split's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, in the best of times, nailed on at 20 still quite a haul, and yeah, combined with the competition from Kai, I think it's still quite a bold gamble.
I think it is for sure. Yeah. Yeah, just in terms of like draft strategy, I thought this one was clever.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's just something I always think about coming into the draft.
Toddy's on one. He must have been out with his mates. Toddy's had a couple too many Peronis. Breath smelling like skunk.
Yeah, I'm sorry that Darwin didn't work out. That doesn't tarnish every single player coming from the Portuguese league. My God. Luis Diaz did pretty well. Bruno Fernandes, a few others. Yeah, I think it's okay. Plus, he scored, I think, double or triple the goals that Darwin scored. So fair enough.
Yeah. Plus, never forget Casapia.
Yeah, who could?
Vamos juntos.
Gansos.
All right. Speaking of Toddy, here he is. Toddy's hot take. Let's do this.
Harvey Barnes.
It is not Harvey Barnes related, surprisingly, honestly. Surprisingly. All right, here's what Toddy says. At least one player new to the Premier League.
And then he follows it up with that shit. Oh, God.
At least one player new to the Premier League will be in the top 10 in fantasy points at midseason.
Yeah, Gyökeres.
So the question is, do you agree with it at all? And then the question becomes, who is it?
All right, let's throw out the big ones. Yeah.
Ekitike, Gyökeres.
Yeah. I mean, then you have like a lower tier, like the Frimpongs and a few others. But yeah, I think you're mostly talking Verts and Ekitike and Gyökeres as the big ones.
And I mean, potentially we might insert Rodrigo into the conversation potentially. You never know.
It's taking every part of self-control not to say try Hume here.
Say it with your chest, Tom.
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm considering in a league where I've got a late pick, just taking Ekitike and Gyökeres as my first two picks, and just like, fuck it, one of them will probably be good.
Oh
yeah.
Wow!
Ooh. offsetting punts.
Yeah, because if you stumble on a top 10 player, I mean that's more than most people in the first round do. Because usually you see like 4 to 5 of the first round picks actually end up top 10. That's interesting. All right, if you have to bank on one Premier League newcomer to be in the top 10 at midseason, who is it?
I mean, it's got to be Verts.
Yeah, I was gonna go one of the Liverpool, at least.
I just don't think it's Ekitike. I probably have to say
he's the biggest gamble.
Yeah. Of
the three, I would say.
Still so young. He's unpolished in a lot of areas. Yeah. But Toddy, did you see him comment Gyökeres with a winky face? I wonder if he's being sarcastic or if he actually thinks that it's Gyökeres.
Yeah, Mikel Merino gets 9 goals up top, and you're telling me a dude that just scored 1,000, even in the Farmers League, isn't gonna do well? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's completely true. Like 9, the difference between 9 and 20 is a lot, but still. Toddy loves a winky face. All right, nice.
Yeah, he's hammered.
All right, are we ready for mine? This is the last one.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So, you're not going to expect this from me, guys.
Oh, you gotta shout out your Twitter handle.
J-Will Draft at J-Will Draft. If you're not following me, what are you doing? All right. After a few years' absence, the City stack is once again viable and formidable fantasy strategy.
Ooh.
Hear me out. So you know where ADP currently is. You could absolutely leave your draft with 5 to 6 City players easily. not a problem. Maybe 7. And Toddy's laughing in the chat because he knows that I will never employ this personally. But but after, and I know
but a guy I know
Mickey Mouse Cup and everything, but the rate at which they were scoring goals this summer was pretty alarming. And when I see the youth and some speed that they've injected into their team, the new formation, it actually makes me think that offensively they're going to be back at it. Like they're going to be back. And I think that you could come away from your draft with 6-7 City players if you wanted to. And I think that after a few weeks, some managers are going to get, understandably, quite disappointed or jaded with their City players who aren't starting. And I think you make a quick deal with them. No big deal. Bring in Doku, who didn't start any of the first three games. Or actually what I think will probably happen is Ryan Cherki is going to disappoint people early on. Bring him in, and I think you could honestly get yourself a pretty good City stack this season. And more importantly, I think it's going to be solid fantasy strategy.
I think that's probably right. I hate doing something like that. I'm kind of more in favor of like a mini stack, just like a 2, which is really tough, given that, Jesus, I mean, who knows who's going to play where?
Yeah.
But I have two guys in mind that if like the opportunity presented itself, I would probably take a punt on him. But otherwise, it's risky biz. But yeah, you're right in the sense that like the way the draft kind of plays out and the City assets are allotted in the different rounds, you can definitely do it. It's doable, but whether or not I want to do it,
Right. I definitely won't be, for the record. That's not the way I play fantasy. I don't like to be that frustrated every week.
I get the idea of sort of using it as an opportunity to sort of buy distressed assets and like get good value there. But so what sort of investment of draft capital are you thinking of for if you were to try this? Like in the first 5 rounds, you're suggesting trying to take like Erling, Marmoush, Doku, Savio, and then just really putting all of your eggs in that basket?
I was thinking maybe more of like you go like Holland and then maybe you go Savio and because if you take Holland, you're probably pick 5. So you go Holland, you go Savio or Doku, and then on the turn, maybe you take Foden. And then from there, you can sort of pepper in, like as the draft wears on, maybe a Nori, you can grab a Reinders, you can grab Cherki if he falls a little bit. I just think the way the draft is set up this year, I think it makes it viable to do something like that. And then once they take an inevitable dip from having been sat for a few weeks, you can go in and grab Marmoush, or you can go in and grab, whoever.
Yeah.
Based on other players on your team that have done well.
It's definitely the kind of team that you'd look up, who am I playing against next week? Oh, they've got a City stack. Who is City playing? Oh, Burnley.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, we hate playing against teams like this. It's like Jesus, and you're gonna play against Arsenal, against my rival.
Yep, we've absolutely all been there too. And it's like and then the team, I mean, inevitably goes out and scores 5 goals, and it's like, oh shit, okay, well, I guess I'll just log off until next week. Yeah, it's weird because this hasn't been available to us the last few seasons, obviously because of their dominance. And now that their draft values are kind of becoming a little bit more reasonable again, suddenly this is an option. I guess the question is whether or not you believe in like the resurgence of their offense.
Yeah, I guess I'll bow to your superior knowledge, having actually bothered to watch the Club World Cup.
Oh, I mean, I don't even know if that's actually going to be how they play. Like, Pep very well could just have been fucking with all of us during the Club World Cup and just experimenting. You have no idea, but whatever it was, looked dangerous, and if they keep it up, I think that's going to be, at the very least, interesting to see what happens. Because I've said this many times on here, but like once they move into attack, this is part of the reason I'm down on Rodri. But once they move into attack, they almost play like a sweeper. Like remember in America, Ryan? Remember in America when sweeper was all the rage?
Yeah, like the early days of MLS and shit.
Yeah, and like on your club teams and stuff, like
Yeah.
your coach would always have a sweeper.
Some Beckenbauer shit.
Yeah, they would do like a diamond defense where it was like left-sided D, right-sided D, sweeper, and a stopper.
Yeah.
Anyway, so City are basically playing that. So they're playing a sweeper, but then the next three above that are the is Rodri. Rodri is in that defensive three. And so then everyone else is pushed up. I just don't see him being attacking enough this season to warrant that pick. But anyway, the mere fact that they have like 6 in the attack, basically at all times, some dropping deep to receive the ball, some kind of, doing a little bit more of the pulling the puppet strings, and then others making runs, others cutting in, others using the wings. Like I think that's going to be a lot more attacking this year. Cool.
It's not a pod without that awkward silence. Joe.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, we can't stop at 126. Do you want me to pull up some other hot takes that we didn't use?
Or we could answer some questions if people want as well.
Yeah, hit us up in chat, guys, if you have any questions. Otherwise, let me pull something up quick here. All right. Genie's other take wasn't really that hot, I don't feel like. Spam defenders round 7 to 10.
No,
yeah, we talked a bit about that.
Yeah.
Although he is advocating playing a 4-4-2. I don't know.
I feel like if you wait that long though, who's your 4th defender? That's my thing.
Yeah.
Like, why would you play 4-4-2 if you're drafting mids and forwards the entire time? Like, you can go 3-5-2 as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Draftlad, actually, we can end on this. Draftlad thinks that it's going to be maybe not a marquee year, but it's going to be the year of the fullback. He's calling it year of the fullback. He lists a few: Frimpong, De Kuiper, Ait Nori, Coyote, Diouf, even though his class is a mid. He's excited about the fullback position this year, and he says as a result, it's going to be a stronger fantasy year for fullbacks.
Somebody watched the Athletics Tactico video that showed that like this season is the renaissance of the fullback with Pep and others.
Oh, I didn't know that existed.
Prototypical fullbacks. I'm guessing. He's such a hipster that he probably wouldn't admit to it, but came up with it himself.
Yeah.
No, I'm just messing with him. I think there's probably some truth to that. Although I think there's going to be some disappointments in there too.
It does make you sort of miss the days sort of like 4 years ago when half the teams in the Premier were playing with wing backs and there was just so much value in the defender position.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cancelo was like such a baller for a couple years. It was just a cheat code.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think it's made the changes have made streaming defenders a lot easier, which I obviously really appreciate. But the difference between like an absolutely elite defender and the rest of the pack has narrowed a little bit. But to the point where I would argue that guys like your Wan-Bissakas are actually getting undervalued because the guy who gets you 9 points a game, is not standing out as much as he used to. Because like other defenders are getting you 7.8 or something, or 8.1.
So, I mean, he doesn't stand out as much, but that's because he's not as valuable in that scenario where he's gone from being 3 points better than a replacement to 1 point above.
Yeah, right. High floor, low ceiling. Yeah, that's fair.
It's the scoring change. I don't really think it changes the relative values of different defenders that much. It's a bit of it's a rising tide that like lifted all of them. If it hurts anyone, it hurts like Arsenal defenders the most because they keep clean sheets, and Everton usually half the time. It's just one of those things that makes playing 4 at the back in fan tracks more viable, I'd say, more than changing whether or not you'd want to prioritize having a defender 1 or not.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we'll go out on this because Ryan, you can argue quickly with Toddy. I didn't put this in there because it's not really like it's not really fantasy relevant. I mean, like it is and it isn't, but like he said, Brentford not going to struggle with relegation. They're going to be fine.
But Wolves will.
What?
Let me guess. Is that right?
No, he didn't say that. He just said
Okay.
Brentford will not struggle against relegation at all. They'll be fine.
I
don't
mean,
know,
Damsgaard
man.
is his round 2 pick, so
Right?
I think he's. Let's see who they keep. Like if they hold on to Vissa and don't let go of any other key players and actually make some decent reinforcements, then I think it'll be easier to gauge at the end of the window. But I think I don't think they'll be relegated, but I think at some point like they'll be in the mix.
Yeah. I think this is just a belief in the system. Like most people who think
There's a really well run club.
Yeah. Most people who think they're going to be fine, I think, are just like they're buying into the way they run, like the way the club is run, the way that they have a succession plan in place, and the way they do their recruitment and all that stuff, which makes sense.
yeah.
I have a lot of worries about Damsgaard's performance next year, to be honest.
Mm.
I mean, he's been in the league for 3 years and it's been shite for 2 of them.
Yeah.
I voiced all of them to Toddy. It didn't make a dent.
I think I've got once bitten, twice shy syndrome on that because I believed in him so hard that first year and he did absolutely nothing. He didn't even get game time.
Yeah, I think we're pretty enamored with his ghosts coming in. It just took a while.
Yeah, but it's happened to me before. Kieran Dowell, never forget.
Where is Kieran Dowell these days?
I like to think he's still at Norwich, just a one club man.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't honestly know. Where's Rhian Brewster?
Sheffield United, right?
Is he still there? I thought he got let go.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised, but I just assumed.
Played in the playoff final.
Oh, Dowell's at Rangers. See, I told you he would come good, you fuckers.
I don't know if that's coming good, but he's reunited with what's his name? The Todd Cantwell is up there too.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah, that's awesome.
Norwich, baby.
what a
Just
lad.
need Buendia.
Kieran Dowell has been at Rangers for 2 seasons and made 12 appearances each year.
Jesus.
So, like I said, I've been completely exonerated.
I mean, he was on loan to Birmingham City, so
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
I never thought we'd end this pod talking about Kieran Dowell, though.
We got to bring some.
It's always a
every now
chance.
and then. We
with
just
Joe.
have to bring up. I used to do this. I don't really do this as much anymore, but I used to be like my ultra deep sleeper, and I used to call one every year, and they just without fail would end up being the shittiest calls.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
All right. Let's go. Yeah, Todd Canwell. Nice, Magpie.
Nice.
All right, let's close it down. Community, you guys are the best. Absolutely love y'all. I head off to Portugal on Sunday, which is going to be amazing. Super excited
Beautiful.
about it. And these guys will have a podcast for you next week in my absence. And then once I am back, we're going to start doing the positional breakdowns. So we'll do a pod for each of them. Not probably goalkeeper, let's be honest. But the other ones. So look forward to those. And I'm excited to come back and see what's changed and what's new. In the meantime, you guys are the best. Check out the draft kit. We put a lot of hard work into it. We do it because community, we love you. Talk to everyone soon. Thanks so much for the support. Cheers.
Bye.